everyone, welcome back. Last week we got the door locks mostly figured out. This week we got the inverter board coming to us. We still need to ship it to EV Controls, and so we'll work on a few other things, see if we can't get the doors kind of all finished up, and work on some of the dash stuff. So let's get to it. Alright, so trying to think about the other things to work on. One thing that came to mind is the center console here. The upper part has got these spots for gauges, which would be great if I was running, say, like a turbo. You could do you know, your boost pressure, oil temperature, oil pressure, those sorts of things. With electric car, there's just not a lot to monitor. You've got kind of your battery voltage and I don't know, maybe your battery temperature, but anyway, most that's done with the controller. So I'm either going to just make this a flat panel, or maybe I'll add a spot to mount the controller. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what to do yet, but that's one thing. Alright, I got those pods cut out front and back, so I'll rough it up, get some fiberglass cut to shape, probably do a whole bunch of those ovals, and then maybe one layer on top and one layer on bottom. All right, it is all sanded and smooth and without those gauge pods, so I think we're good. I will show you the plan for fastening essentially this sort of thing to here. So as mentioned before, there's metal plate in here, but here's the plan. So again, I'm going to do some kind of interior car vinyl fabric, kind of make this all look nice. But to join it, I'm going to use a screw. Now, to cover up that screw, I've got these guys. So the screw will go through all this, and then these ones will accept a snap. So now it's snapped on. So it's kind of the same color as the car vinyl, and so I've got both kind of a gray and a black. And that way it'll look nice, but if I ever need to get the panel off, I can just essentially, this is a snap so I can take the snap off and then unthread it and then take everything off. So that's the plan. We're going to open up our car vinyl. All right, so this is the black. So again, it's kind of got like a leather or car interior type texture. The back is kind of, I don't know how to describe that, but it's kind of like a weave. And I really can't demonstrate this on the camera, but man, it smells like a new car. It smells great. So this is the gray, I think, or sorry, the black. I think the gray is on the inside of the black, so I think I have to unroll all that to get to the gray. So let me go do that. All right, so my plan is to have kind of a two-tone car interior. Again, I don't know how well the camera shows, but this is black and this is gray. So they've kind of got the same texture, but just different colors. And I'll show the those little snaps that I was showing you. I'll put those on here too. So there's the snaps, and I could match colors, or if I wanted to, I could kind of contrast colors. But anyway, so I'm gonna start looking at wrapping some of the panels. All right, so here's my thought for the two-tone color. So for these ones that kind of go by your feet, I'm gonna have be black. Again, I may change my mind. I've got enough material. The material is really cheap. I got enough material that I could probably do it all twice. So if I want to change my mind, I can. This part, I think, of the center console, I think I want to be the gray color. And so that's the one that goes up and around. And then the panels, so that, and that, I think I'll have black. The doors, again, my thought is to have the outside be black, the inside be gray. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I think also, I don't know, I could have this be like painted the same color as the shell, or I might just have that be kind of, again, some more of that material. These are the panels that I am going to be putting that vinyl on, the car vinyl. And those little button snaps, they're just a little bit bigger than kind of these recesses. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of just carve out ever so slightly, kind of with a Dremel, so that they'll kind of fit down in there a little bit. In order just to make sure I'm not carving like too much, and we still have some strength here, I'm going to put some fiberglass patches just kind of over all the little recesses. So. All right, my first time trying to wrap something, but I feel like it turned out okay. The corners are kind of more challenging, but I think I did all right. I may need to come back and just add a little bit of the contact cement where I want things to kind of tuck down and stay further, or I may just take it all off and do it again. Like I said, I feel like this was a easy first piece to try. The other thing I gotta do is I gotta poke little holes for where the screws will go, and we'll do that and see how the screws and buttons and things, the snaps, turn out. Okay, so I made some relief cuts and was able to kind of tuck the material in, and so now you can see how the buttons kind of sit in there. So again, it'll just be, it's kind of hard to tell black on black. Maybe we'll get a gray button, but just sits a little bit recessed on these. So, all right, this is the first panel. It's kind of what it would look like. And again, my thought is do, so similar black, black, and this top one be gray. That goes all the way down there. This one also be black. This first one, just, yeah, I think just because it's me, I'm gonna go ahead and probably take it off and do it again. I think it's actually really good, but I want those snaps just sitting a little bit lower, and I think I can do just a little better on the corners. But in general, I think it's good. You can kind of see how it'll look. I'll probably do some time lapse and try and get more of these panels done. All right, so that's kind of how it was originally. Again, I put some extra fiberglass on the back and just widened it ever so slightly so that the those little button snaps can sit there just a little recessed. So on the door panel here, again, it should be pretty interesting to see if I can get this all to work. This one's got a cover, so I don't need to like sink it all the way down there, just along the top edge. This also kind of has a, I'll call it a pocket. So again, I'm not going to be able to, if I put essentially the vinyl all across the top, I'm not going to be able to kind of like put it in there. So I'll either have a seam, or I'll just maybe paint that and have it be different. So I don't know. We'll see what it looks like. All right, so that took way too long, but it's all part of the learning. So I'll show you what I learned. So I knew I was gonna have to kind of do a recess here, meaning you can't tuck the material in there. And so when I put it over the top, this part was fine, but then I just had so much extra material, and I thought, well, if I'm gonna have a seam there, I might as well just have a seam here. So that worked out quite well. Over here though, I just ended up having so much material kind of right in here, and I just tried to work it and work it and work it and work it, and I couldn't ever get it so I liked it. And then again, I just thought, you know what, I should just have a seam here. And so this is gonna be under this armrest, and so I think I like that as well. But if you pull back this enough times, you kind of end up getting some lumps and things. And so when I start putting it down, you kind of just got some lumps and bumps. So this piece I'm going to go ahead and retire, but this will be a great template for the next one that I cut out. So I'll take this one off, kind of clean up the panel again, and kind of trace out a new shape and get that one going. All right, that's the second panel in place. Again, I need to make some cutouts for the little button snaps there, but you can see it's starting to take shape. All right, we try and keep things upbeat here, but you'll probably notice in several of my videos we have, I guess I'll call them Easter eggs, little elements where things don't go quite according to plan. So for this week, it is the board. So we got a board from a fellow YouTuber, and he's in California, I'm in Utah. The board somehow made its way to Texas. So it'll be here eventually, but that'll slow things down just a little bit. All right, I was able to pull this guy off. It was stuck on there pretty good, but that's kind of the template. So I'll cut out another piece. I won't necessarily do all the relief cuts until I get it in place. But I'll cut out another piece, another rectangle. This I was able to clean off as well. I tried things like alcohol, Windex. What seemed to work best was kind of like the paint thinner or mineral spirits. That seemed to get it off pretty decent. So ready for try number 2. All right, I was able to get it all wrapped. So I'll tell you a little bit about what I did and what I'm going to do. But so for instance, there's a seam here, and I've got some, I'm calling it seam material that's gonna come, that'll essentially cover that up. So it'll look really good. I don't have it right now, so you'll just have to trust me. Also, so that seam material I'm gonna have go all the way up here, and then I haven't decided if I'm just gonna put more of the gray in there, or I think that'll probably be the easiest. So I'll probably just put more of the gray in there, and then I'll have a seam here, but it'll look good and go inside. So here, just wrapped it, tucked it underneath. There, same thing, tucked it in. I will go ahead and put the covers and things on just so we can kind of get a better idea of what the overall look will be. Over here, again, everything looks pretty good. I'm gonna have a seam here, and then also this will be covered up by the armrest. So really the seam's just gonna show kind of right there, and then the armrest, I'll make one of those and put it there. So that's where we're to. All right, I got some 1-inch poly foam, and I'm gonna use that for the armrest there. All right, I can do better. What I'm finding is that if I just do only foam, again, these long edges wrap okay, but where you kind of go to those short corners and stuff, you want to kind of try and pull it tight, and essentially the foam doesn't really give any resistance, so it's becoming kind of challenging to kind of make that look decent. So I'm gonna have to improvise. All right, I don't know if this is a good idea, but we're just trying things. So got really thin plywood here, cut out a shape that's basically that same profile, and got it wet, wrapped it in this just so somewhat protected here, and just kind of clamped it so it can kind of conform to that shape. I'll let it sit overnight, and hopefully it kind of takes that shape, and then we'll wrap it. We'll put that on bottom and put the foam on top and see if we can kind of stretch things around a little bit better. All right, the board's taking a little bit of a shape there, so we're gonna go ahead and try and wrap it. All right, I got the armrest all wrapped here. Lots of learning. So these kind of sharper corners are very challenging to wrap. So I'd recommend kind of radius as much as you can. But the other thing I learned is basically anytime you want it to curve, you kind of have to do a relief cut so you don't get a huge wrinkle here and have all sorts of extra material. And so when you go around the edges, you just have to do lots of cuts to kind of get it to wrap even close to good here. So in general, I think it looks pretty good. This will be the side that kind of is seen. So this other side is kind of against the panel. So I think that'll look pretty good though. Okay everybody, this is the seam material. So it just looks like a seam and you just kind of stick it right over the top of the seam. So that's what we're gonna do for those areas that need a seam. All right, this week's tool of the week is the orbital sander. I'll put a link in the description below. I also used a lot of different materials and things, so I'll list all those as well. All right, I tried to kind of assemble so you could see a little bit of what the final look might look like. I didn't yet put on that trim piece, but this I think will be a 2-part episode or maybe a 3-part episode to get all the other things wrapped. But this just kind of shows you, what the final product will look like. All right, everybody, that does it for this week. See you next week.